I'm going to show you how to make a pen. First, you mark on the blank how long the brass tube is. Then you cut along the line on the piece of wood that you're using. Then you draw a line using something straight. I used a ruler from corner to corner to make an X so you know where the middle of the blank is. Then I used a 10mm drill bit and drilled down the center of the X, which is the middle of the blank. After that, then you take the brass tube from earlier and you put super glue around it and then put it inside the wood that you just drilled. Make sure the tube isn't sticking out of either end and make sure you get all the glue off the end. Then you're going to sand the excess wood on each side so the brass tube is flush with the wood on each side of the blank. Now that it's all sanded, you're going to put the bushings in on each side and then put it on the mandrel. Then put the extra spacer on and then the nut so it doesn't move. Then you're going to move the buttstock so that the mandrel doesn't move, it stays in place. And tighten it down. Now you're going to take your tool rest and place it. Now you're going to use your tool, which in this case I'm using a wood gouge, and make it round and barely bigger than the bushings on each side. Now you take 150 grit sandpaper to get it to the bushings. Once you're done with that, then you switch to 320 grit and then 600 for the finishing. Now I'm using a wax so that it's waterproof and that your oils won't rub away the finish. This also helps with the shiny effect. Now I'm using a paper towel to rub off the excess. Now I'm using a polish to give it the final coat. So you just need a little bit and use friction to bake it on. So apply a lot of force so it gets hot. Make sure you get it all over. Now take it off the lathe. So you're going to remove the nut and the spacers and the bushings and take the wood off. Okay, now that the wood is done, now it's time to assemble the pen. So you assemble the front bushing of the pen and then the rear. And make sure it's lined up so the pen isn't crooked. Then I use this press to press them together. Once that's done, then you put the little bushing on and then glue it to the back of the pen. Then unscrew the front so we can put the ink cartridge in and the spring. Once that's done, screw the front of the pen back on, and then there you go.